Welcome to DStv Roundtable. I am Donovan Goliath, and today we are in the presence of greatness. You know, my influence has managed to pull some of the greatest stars, your favorite stars, on DStv. They are with me here today just to have a chit-chat, a caucus, imbizo, whatever you want to call it. I thought I knew all of them by name, but clearly not. Makgotso, is it Makgotso?
I prefer to be called Leanne.
Where does the Leanne thing come from? Because you confused all of us just before we started filming here today.
Well, I moved to New York a couple of years ago before I became a Sangoma. Nobody could say Makgotso. It was so annoying.
How did they say it? Makotso?
Yeah, Makotso.
Makotso.
Which I hated. So I said, you know what, I need to change my name.
So it's official? Like that's it? You went to Home Affairs and you were like, and then they looked at you and they were like, Ushor, sisters.
Well, with a twang like this,
Why not loudly?
You might never know,
you know? Absolute sense.
I'm just so jealous of her that you could choose your own new name, because Beer was just bestowed upon me by people who
Your name is not Beer?
No, it's actually a secret what my real name is.
What is your real name, Beer? We're here now.
They would also have trouble to pronounce it in New York.
Let's try.
It's Jacobus.
Is it just Jacobus?
It's all the disciples. It's Jacobus, Petrus, Adriaanse. I wonder what I would have chosen if I could, like you, decide my own nickname.
Should we decide on a name for Beer right now? What would you call Beer?
He reminds me.
I love Beer. And do you know that his younger brother is called Beertjie?
No, it's not.
It's going down. Yeah. 3 brothers and 2 cousins all got beer.
And then it goes Beertjie.
Beertjie.
All like beer, beerder, beerdster.
There we go. You could start your own spin-off show because you're like the Afrikaans Bear Grylls, but you are Beer Braai.
I like it.
You see what I'm saying, guys? The content is just flowing. What I do want to start off with is, how are you guys? I mean, I don't know, when was the last time you all saw each other? We've obviously been away, you know, a pandemic happened where we were all locked away for a long time. I'm going to start with you, Beer. How are you doing? Did you find yourself in this time?
I think I thought I was going to find myself, but somehow it felt like the tap closed and I was the least creative I've ever been. And then I decided, okay, well, that means I can take the time off and properly decompress. But even that, I don't feel rested, really. And I think it's because me and Kabous spoke about it earlier. It's because the conclusion hasn't come yet. So we're still all in the air waiting for it. So I think I feel like I'm so glad all of us made it, but like most of us took knocks. You can see the wounds on people. Yes. Even if it's psychologically. But yeah, but I'm very grateful for still being able to come to things like this and that the industry is still moving. Even though I think it is hobbled a bit. It feels a bit hobbled.
Yeah. Leanne?
Well, for me, I didn't stop working. I did telephonic consultations, video consultations. I was fully booked. I've worked before the show. It wasn't as hectic, but I worked, you know.
Do you do telephonic or Zoom consultations as a Sangoma?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I want to get in on that.
That's very interesting.
Please. Try me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll forward you a link later.
I mean, I'm not walking around here with my bones and all. I'm not a medium.
Yes.
I'm a Sangoma.
Yes.
I'm a Nyanga, you know. I use a lot of herbs as well. So there's quite a few categories in traditional healing. So that's why I'm saying I don't walk around and say, oh, I see your grandmother. She's saying, you stole something. Yes. No, I don't do that, you know. You come to me, you book a consultation. It's very formal. I want to keep it like that. My biggest dream is to have a farm and have a traditional spa, you know, something
amazing,
far away, something VIP.
That's fantastic. Ma'am, yourself?
I have to tend to agree with Beer in the sense of
for the first time in years, you had all this time on your hands, but the creativity was just absolutely switched off. Now's the time to write the book. Now's the time to write your next comedy script. Now's the time to get the ball rolling on planning on new ideas. And during hard lockdown, the uncertainty of what's coming, and will you still have a show that's going to be on air? Is it going to get cancelled? Will you have a salary, X, Y, and Z? I think that just consumed a lot of people in the industry. And you had the time to be creative, but it was actually just not flowing. It wasn't there. The ideas didn't pop up. You just rested and you tried your best, but it just didn't happen.
And it's very interesting. I think somebody said, please let's not forget that this is a pandemic and not a productivity context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the people were put under pressure, especially on social media. No, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of people out there who actually just needed to switch off and actually just realign and just gauge, all of these things that they've been juggling for a long time. I mean, I know your industries, like you are often in between so many different things, It's very interesting how different people were affected by it. For me, it was the opposite. I flourished, which is such a weird thing to say, and I feel guilty saying it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I just went crazy. Like, we made things every day, and I found the person I'm supposed to be in the lockdown, which is so strange.
That's wonderful.
Anyway, it's not about me. Roz.
I just want to agree with you there that I have had professionally, I think, the best year of my life, and you don't want to kind of broadcast that.
Yes.
But it has been a very good year for me. In lockdown, it was hard because I'd started working on presenting on a new show, which we started shooting in level 4, but when the hard lockdown happened, it was, is this going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And also, just before the lockdown hit, we started production on the first TV show that I produced. And we were just like stuck for what are we going to do now? Because a lot of the episodes that we were working on were with vulnerable groups, people with disabilities, so we had to kind of restructure the whole 13 episodes to make sure that we could still shoot it within the protocols. It was a very stressful time, but also incredibly productive for me. And I kind of have pushed myself to see how much hecticness can I handle before I freak out. But we all kind of got affected by it differently, so maybe my breakdown is still coming. Who knows?
Exactly. That's what I'm sitting there going,
waiting for the breakdown.
When am I going to be in my own pandemic? How did it pan out for you, Kabous?
Yeah, I think it was a good time to reprioritize, definitely. Yes. But also, when I heard that the lockdown's coming, I had to drive from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and because the flights were already closed. So what we did was we kind of dumped all the footage from one documentary onto all these drives and gave it to everybody so that we can work remotely and we can finish this project. And then I just saw that computer looking at me every day, and I just didn't open a drive. And I shouldn't have done that because it was gnawing at the back of my head the whole time, but I didn't want to work. And then finally, I also started like Rosie quite early because we work in actuality. And then when those gates opened, the work just, it's still going on. I mean, and I think the reason why we're not burning is because we're so glad that we're working. Yes. Because the other thing is, it's so obvious that, this country needs solutions.
Yes.
So I think you said you found the real you. I think for me, there was a huge priority shift, and it makes me feel much lighter.
You guys are so interesting, and I think a lot of people who are going to be watching this, some obviously have seen you before, some haven't. So, hypothetical scenario, right? I'm a big director, producer from New York. I'm here, and I'm wanting to invest and buy content from South Africa. Roz, speak to me about what you do.
Okay, so I actually am involved with 3 shows. 2 of them I present, 1 of them I'm the executive producer of. So I'm going to start with Besigheid Wat Saak Maak. Besigheid Wat Saak Maak is a show about getting businesses, small businesses, medium, big business, to come and chat on our show about what makes their business great and why people should come and buy something from you or use your service. So important now because we need to get the economy going. Second show that I work on is a health and wellness show called Kopskuif, and it follows 6 participants on a journey to wellness and getting better and improving their health.
Wow.
Which is something that I think in the current climate so important, because you forget, you kind of take your health for granted. So getting to know them and moving through their journeys.
Physical and mental health?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. A proper holistic look at it. So it's not just a weight loss show. It's a very much
Fantastic, yeah.
big kind of broad look at improving health and getting better. And then Omgee-Engele is the show that I am the producer of, which looks at, similarly to kind of things that Kabous' show looks at, it looks at people who are in need of help and how we as South Africans can get together and help those people so that they can pay it forward. It's been like, if you want to invest in something, invest in that, because it's what we need right now. Telling stories that are uplifting and positive and seeing people triumph in the face of adversity in every episode. Like, I've seen those episodes 100 times and I still get emotional about it.
Yeah. Kabous, if you don't mind, give me the elevator pitch.
My shows are called Prontuit and Megaboere. And the big difference between Engele and Prontuit is that people cry on their show, people get very angry on our show.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
I'm quite privileged with the 2 shows that I do. I think the one has evolved quite a bit. Rosie and myself have worked together for quite a long time, and we had the privilege of starting with actuality shows about 6 years ago. And what we did together, I think, was actually, and Channel gave us leeway to do that, was to, and Beer was also there later on, was to actually not only do what we think the viewer wants, but to give them new and younger ideas. And that evolved finally into something that's more social issue driven. To enjoy such a show, the first thing you have to do is to love South Africa and to be curious about people. And the people I interview are usually extremely solution driven. They're people that are making changes, a lot of them behind the scenes. And then the other show especially is like that because it's about agriculture. And agriculture is, with technology and all the other things, the future. For me, identity is very important because I think we still have the chance to get more, what's the right word? To be even more proudly South African without it being a bumper sticker. We have to understand our own history. We have to understand where our economy comes from. We have to understand us. We don't know half of it, and that's why Leanne's show is very important. So we're at the brink of a bright new future. We're not at the end of it, I think.
Oof. You've been in a lot of boardrooms selling stuff.
Yeah.
I bought every single thing that you said. You know what the line that got me? So it's not just a bumper sticker.
Yeah, I
See right here. See right here. You were like, damn.
I forgot about the shows. Maybe I'm starting a new political party, but
No, that one smashed out the park. I'm only on the left side or the right side of this. Yes, camera right. Yes, that's correct. And this already sounds like you guys are on the right path. So head over to this side. Janina, talk to me.
I'm a co-host on a kykNET show called Toks and Tjops. And it's a sports magazine show that I co-host with 2 former Springboks, Brayton Paulse and Toks van der Linde. And it's a live show on Friday nights. And it's sport, and it's music, and it's food, all together rolled into one. So it's literally like a braai on a Friday night. Just there's a Springbok captain next to you, and a chef that braais your food. And we are in our 10th season already.
10 seasons?
10 seasons already.
you guys have a lot of fun, hey?
Oh, but like a Friday night is definitely the highlight of my week.
Don't you want to invite Sangoma over?
I think we should.
Coming
People
for the
will love
captain.
it. People will love it. So it literally started as a small magazine show for the 2011 Rugby World Cup when we went to New Zealand. And it was supposed to be just like 13 or 12 eps. And after the 12 eps, everyone was like, okay, this is it. And then the next year, our producer, Libby Opperman, just phoned us and said, okay, can you clear your calendar for the next 43 weeks? Because we're going live every Friday for the next year.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
that's literally the game changer.
did you get a lot of heat in the first couple of episodes where they were like, this is a rugby show, it's about braaiing, surely there shouldn't be a woman here?
Well, that's actually how I got into that show.
Oh.
Is I entered Super Sports Lady Rugger.
I remember this, yes.
Where they were looking for a female rugby anchor. The lady that won, she obviously went to New Zealand and had a ball, and the producers saw me on Lady Rugger. I was the runner-up. And they said, do you want to join the show called Toks and Tjops we're going to do for the Rugby World Cup? I'm like, just to let you know, there are ladies that were on Lady Rugger that know a lot more about rugby than me. Maybe you must go and ask them.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. So I said no the first time. And then after a week, he just phoned and he said, sorry, your name has already been, kykNET already approved it, you're on.
Wow.
And that's how I joined. And look, I'm a sports lover. I used to be a sports lover.
Yes.
But I had to put in a lot of effort. I had to put in a lot of effort to not meet that stereotype.
Yes.
Where people are going to think, she's just there to be a pretty face on the show.
Yes.
Now I'm sitting there between Springbok legends, captains, sport people, Penny Hines, all these people sitting around me, and I can't just sit there and smile. You need to know your stuff.
Yep.
And that it literally became second nature. But I had to put in a lot of effort to not convince, but to tell everyone at home, this is where I belong.
I can relate with that in a sense. You know, I'm young. Well, I'm 34. I'm still young. And then you have sangomas who are like pretty old, you know, like magogos from wherever, who will say, no, sangomas don't speak English like this. Does she, you know, do the bone reading in English? She's not supposed to be drinking. I remember on one episode, I had a glass of wine. Just because I'm like this doesn't mean I don't know how to do my job.
Yes, of course.
I know my job. I am fully booked.
But that's the thing that I wanted to latch on to what Janina said, is that there's this thing of window dressing that you're only there because of how you look or because you fit the brief. And I think I work mostly in the Afrikaans industry, and I've had people say to me before, well, you get the job because you are of color and you speak Afrikaans, and most people, so it'll be easier for you to compete because there's not many people in that lane. But I'm not there because I'm not presenting 2 shows and producing another show because of the color of my skin and because conveniently I speak Afrikaans. I'm there because I'm good enough to be there.
Exactly.
You know?
And you deserve it.
Yeah.
Your show, I think, it shook a lot of people here. Sell your show to me.
Our show is about young, modern sangomas, you know. We want to bring life into ubungoma because not a lot of people talk about it. People frown upon it, you know. I want people to know that in South Africa, yes, there are mediums. There's also sangomas. There's inyanga, which is what I am. I use a lot of herbs. I love herbs, you know. I could be just smelling things and you'll probably be thinking,
is it real?
No, okay. I don't think so. You know, but the show is about bringing out that side of our culture, you know. Finding out, it's not dangerous to go into someone's ndumba, which is where I practice, where I work. It's a culture that is not exposed to a lot of people. And I know we shook the country. The Twitter tweets or whatever that we've gotten from the first episode to what we're getting now, it's a complete change, you know. We are educating certain people. There are people who are really starting now to understand what the show is about. So it's an eye-opener. I want people to learn.
I really do love it. Apart from the show, the way you've described it to me, you know, that you're really exposing people to a younger and new and modern generation of sangomas. At the same time, it's a great hook to teach people about what you practice, about this world.
Yes.
Because you framed it in a way that lures me in.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things. Okay, maybe because I said which means I was saying my Lozi does know how to do witchcraft.
Yes.
Then people took it out of context. They said that I said I do witchcraft. Do you understand? I mean, how do you heal something you cannot, you know, inflate? How do you do that?
Yes.
I need to be able to do certain things spiritually, for me to heal them, you know? That's what I was saying, but it turned around into something else. I'm a witch, I have snakes. People have this perception that, you know, every animal I have has got something to do with my healing.
The sacrifice.
Or people will come in and say, Gogo, sorry, I just want to mention one thing. I'm really scared of snakes. I'm like, oh, okay, great. And it's just like, no, but are there snakes? No, the snakes are in my room, tucked away in a nice glass, you know, not in the ndumba. What are they there for? I never once said I use the snake to lure you in, no. So I just want people to understand what Ubunyanga is.
It's fascinating. Beer, so you're going on a course to become the next white Sangoma?
I would like to be the snake wrangler in season 2.
I was just about to say, Beer is definitely going to cast you in one of his horrors. A snake and a witch and a glass of red wine.
Please.
Speak to me about what you do, sir.
So they found me in scripted. I write and I act and I direct more or less only comedies and stuff.
Yes.
And so when this opportunity came along to do a game show, I kind of had to look at it from the outside and go, what can I actually connect with here? Because it's way outside of my wheelhouse. It's about general knowledge, and it's about family, and it's about silliness. And those two things I love. And it's families competing against each other with general knowledge, but then also these silly games. So it gets really heated, but also super funny. And it's just real South Africans being real South Africans, being competitive with things like that. So I was like, cool, I'm in.
Can you tell us what it's called?
It's called Die Flinkste Familie.
Die Flinkste
Familie. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I practiced. Welkom bij yeah, exactly.
Wait, can I just ask something? Are all your shows on an Afrikaans channel?
Yes, via.
I'm just going to watch just to see. I don't understand, you know.
There's subtitles?
Not on my shows, but a lot of people have asked because this, and it's so weird. Like I get a lot of comments or stuff on Facebook posts, especially about Omgee-Engele, where people are like, I love what I'm seeing. Like I can see the emotion. It transcends language. Someone was like, can you give me Afrikaans lessons so I can watch the show?
Megaboere has got subtitles.
That's a niche, you know. That's a niche to do subtitles.
Yeah.
Especially in comedy.
In comedy, or even the drama
timing.
you did. You did feinskrif as well. The lingo that you talk. And it takes a lot of time, so it's definitely.
But in South Africa, it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's totally worth it.
I fully agree.
And Beer, something I wanted to ask you, because I was too scared in lockdown to actually watch Beer's new movie because it was a horror. Don't you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so we made a horror movie for Showmax.
Yeah.
Which is about like demons and stuff. It was quite cool to see because it's a very South African. It's set in like a security complex, and this preacher accidentally summons a demon while he's trying to convert a girl that he thinks should not be gay because he's very conservative.
See why I didn't want to watch it in lockdown.
So no, exactly.
Security, gay, all of that.
The whole thing, exactly. I think South Africans actually like being scared. They don't think they like being scared.
Yeah.
We don't have a big horror scene.
Yes.
But there is actually, there's a vibe, and I think it's growing. But then also we could get into some film festivals and show people outside of our country a movie that's very South African. So it was nice to see that we can kind of small steps, but it's happening. We can do that.
I absolutely love that we are exploring genres like horror.
Yes.
You know why? Because, I mean, if you just think about the myths that we have in the country, if you think about the urban legends, all of us know that story that your father, your grandfather told you when you're driving, oh, there's a person who's hiking on the side of the road, and if you don't pick them up, you know what I'm saying? Where is that movie, guys? Who is that? Like, I want to know. Like, we all know these stories. I'm actually getting chills now thinking about it. But like, I really love that we're starting to go down that route. Where is the cash in transit heist movie? It's a thing that happens in the country.
Good action.
Do you see what I'm saying? Where's that action movie? You know, where's the spy thriller?
That's why comedies and horror it's a very good breeding ground, because if we can get those genres right, because you can execute them, then we can move up to like higher budget action, as you said.
Yes.
Because they just shot a local movie in Cape Town. I was a walk-on kind of extra. But these guys were falling out of windows on the 12th floor, hanging out of buildings, flipping cars. I was like, now we're talking. Now we're getting into like local. I don't know if it was a cash in transit story, but it was very South African. It's very cool. So I'm happy we're moving in that direction because people like genre.
But it's like when you watch something like Trackers, like I watched Trackers, and it's like, look, I know that guy, I know that guy. And you just get such a feeling of pride because it's like, we can do this, like we don't have to stand back.
But we have to be proud of our own identity.
Yes.
To sell it.
Always, no bumper sticker selling.
No copying anymore.
Done. Guys, thank you so much, man. This has been an absolutely amazing discussion. We really could go on forever. Loved this episode. Thank you for tuning into DStv Roundtable. Please remember to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode like the one you just saw right here. Please do also let us know in the comment section who else you would like to see in these seats. It's going to be a very, very tough decision. The fact that we have these amazing people here, somebody's got to top them. Good luck. You can obviously watch all of their shows on DStv. I suggest you do. Also, you could watch them on the DStv app as well. The link is in the description below to download the app. For now, however, take care. Bye.